So what does it take to make a diamond? About 50,000 times more pressure than the surface of the earth, about 900 to 1600 degrees Celsius, about 100 miles beneath the surface of the earth. Oh yeah, let's not forget, millions, sometimes billions of years. Now, you can see why it makes diamonds so expensive and precious, not just because they're shiny and look good, but the process itself to even be formed took a lot. Now, this makes me think of another diamond. That's Dustin the Diamond Poirier, and he's a client and a good friend of mine now, and he has a similar path. And you look at how he came to where he is right now, about to fight Islam Makhachev for the UFC Championship lightweight belt. And it's not his first, it's not his second, but his third time. You can see how his journey is literally in line with his namesake, the diamond. And now if you look at his track record, the people he's fought, let alone lost to, are always top caliber fighters. He doesn't say no to the fights, and he takes whoever's coming for the challenge. Now you look at someone like Conor McGregor, who he lost to back in 2014. You look at Cub Swanson, Michael Johnson, the Korean Zombie, Justin Gaethje. These are all notable names, and some of them have won themselves, like I mentioned. So it just shows you that the process and path to get here, he took a lot of adversity, a lot of pain, a lot of strife. His mental toughness, resilience had to be put to the test, and he would always bounce back to the next fight. Because we lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov back in 2019, he was submitted via rear naked choke. Now, the thing was, up until that point, there's a lot of dispute on this. He had a pretty good back and forth with Khabib, but Khabib just had the better fight that night and he won. And it took him back a little bit because you work so hard. And it's not just about the UFC or being a pro athlete. When you put so much into something, it shows how in line with you as a person and you as an athlete, because there's something called athletic identity, which we talk about how you identify as an athlete and how your value is measured, because sometimes people think a loss in the sport is a loss in life. Or if I'm not training or working hard, I'm just not doing enough as a person. And this is a fine line. And going to this third championship run against Islam, Dustin has to think about, hey, I'm 35 years old. What's my next step? What's my next move? I win this belt. Do I defend? If I don't win, do I hang it up? I had a great run, but the end all be all is he's not just fighting, and he has a pretty good sense of this. And this is something many people can take away, especially in the sport world and younger athletes, is who are you outside of fighting? He has a successful hot sauce brand. He's invested in other companies. He's making money and having endeavors that have nothing to do with fighting at all. And this is important because we want to be well adjusted. And going to this fight, he's put in the work, he's put in the time. I've seen it firsthand. I've helped him with some of his fights. I didn't help with this one particularly, but I know how much he puts into his training. He's a student of the game. He's always open to different methodologies if it means being better. And you got to have this open to experience. That's a personality trait that shows how well adaptable are you to new ideas. And when you think about something at the highest level of performance, you can't be doing what everyone else is doing, because they always say you do what you always done, you're going to get what you always got. And the name of the game is to be better than the next person. And to be better, you have to do more or different or both than what they are doing. And most likely they're doing a lot too. So you got to separate yourself. But all in all, I just want to make this video to go over like the similarities of what a diamond goes through and what he goes through. He bounces back from a loss, he comes back, wins again. After the loss to Khabib, he ended up beating Daniel Hooker, and then he fought Conor both times, beating him, and then he went for the belt against Charles Oliveira, and unfortunately lost again via rear naked choke. Imagine losing the same way to another gifted fighter. It takes a lot from you, but guess what? He came back again, fought Michael Chandler, and then he fought Justin Gaethje, who he beat back in 2018, and unfortunately lost through a knockout. And he hasn't been knocked out in 6 years before that point, so it just shows you he had to bounce back again, and he went against Benoit Saint Denis, and then he beat him with a knockout, and now he's back to Islam. So you see these ups and downs. Success in anything, let alone sport, is cumulative. It's the addition of every single endeavor, every single task you go on to get to that end goal, to get to that championship, to get to that win, whatever it may be. And this is what his career does. And just like with the diamonds, it takes millions, billions of years. Obviously, we only live about 70, 85 years, depending on your lifespan. But relative to that, that's been his journey. He didn't start day one in the UFC. He was fighting in barns. Check out Fightville. It shows his path to becoming a professional and at the high level in MMA. So this is literally a correlation directly to the testament of his namesake being Dustin the Diamond Poirier. So think about that. I already know who I got, Dustin all the way. And as I always say, fight well. And thanks for tuning in, and get your mind right.